The sound of his own heartbeat was deafening. Sweat stung his eyes. Every second felt like a trap. He couldn't move, couldn't think. The shadows were shifting closer, crawling along the walls like predators. A sudden crash made him flinch. Something had broken in the room behind him. Glass, maybe a chair, maybe something worse. His chest tightened, waiting. He reached for the notebook on the floor. He knew the consequences. No one would understand. No one could help. The light flickered. Dark corners stretched, swallowing the edges of the room. He clenched his fists. He had to push through the fear. He had to finish it. But the noise was growing. A whisper turned into a shout. The walls seemed to bend. His pulse raced. He had trained himself for months for this moment. Yet now, right here, it all felt impossible. And then he froze. Because he realized it wasn't him who was running out of time. Who was watching him from the shadows? This all started on a quiet morning that felt like any other. The sun had barely risen, casting pale gold light across the small apartment. He sat at the kitchen table, stirring his coffee, listening to the faint hum of the city outside. Everything seemed ordinary. Too ordinary, maybe. His phone buzzed. A message from Mia. Don't forget our meeting today. He smiled, a small, tired smile. Mia had been his anchor through the months of relentless training, late nights, and obsessive routines. Without her, he might have lost track of why he was doing any of it. The apartment smelled of old books and fresh bread. He glanced at the stack of notebooks on the counter. Each one was meticulously filled with goals, strategies, and notes on progress. Some days it felt overwhelming, all the planning and pushing. But every morning, he reminded himself why he couldn't stop, why he had to keep forcing himself forward, no matter what. Down the street, children played, a dog barked, a neighbor watered her plants. Life went on, simple, peaceful, the kind of calm that made danger feel impossible. He had a routine. Wake up, train, study, track progress, check in with Mia, then sleep repeat. And at night, he reviewed the plans that could change everything for him. He wanted control. Total control over his life, his success, his destiny. But even then, something niggled at the edge of his mind. A sense that normalcy was fragile. That all this discipline, all these tiny steps, could be undone in an instant. It was subtle, at first a shadow in the corner of his vision. A door left slightly ajar. A strange email he almost deleted without reading. He ignored it. He had bigger things to focus on. Goals to crush. Limits to break. Still, every so often, he'd catch himself staring at the ceiling late at night, thinking, what if someone is watching? What if all this control isn't enough? He pushed the thought away. Fear wasn't productive. Progress was. Action was. Execution was. He hadn't yet realized that the obstacles he imagined internal struggles, distractions, exhaustion, were nothing compared to what was coming. That the real test wouldn't be in a notebook or a checklist, but in a single impossible moment that could either break him completely or forge him into something unstoppable. And yet, in that sunlit morning calm, the world felt perfectly safe. The first sign came in the mailbox. A single envelope, plain, unmarked, with his name scrawled in shaky handwriting. He stared at it for a long time, heart thumping. A joke, but the feeling lingered. A shadow across his calm routine. Over the next week, small things began slipping. His coffee cup moved when he hadn't touched it. Notes on his desk rearranged. Mia noticed his jittery glances and furrowed brow. You're overthinking, she said gently. But he couldn't shake it. Someone was watching. Then came the calls, silent calls. He'd answer, only to hear breathing, faint but deliberate, heavy, patterned, counting him. Each call ended before he could speak. Each call left a mark on his nerves. He began locking doors obsessively, checking corners, reviewing his security footage. Nothing. Yet every day, something shifted. Mia tried to calm him, but even she noticed the change. His face, once calm and determined, now carried a constant tension. Sleep became fractured. His training sessions turned frantic. Mistakes crept in where there had never been mistakes. And with each mistake, the whispers of doubt grew louder. "Are you ready? Can you handle this?" Then one night, the shadow moved. Literally. A figure standing at the edge of the alley below his apartment window. He froze, breath caught in his throat. When he blinked, it vanished. His pulse raced. He called the police. But he didn't feel reassured, not for a second. His work began to suffer. He started double-checking everything, triple-checking doors, windows, locks. Every sound in the apartment felt amplified. "We should go somewhere. Anywhere," she pleaded. But he refused. He had goals. He had control. He had to push through. Then came the note on the doorstep, larger this time. Typed, precise, unnerving. "Finish it, or we will." Fear became an engine. Adrenaline surged constantly. He pushed his body harder, training into exhaustion, running simulations, reviewing contingencies. But no matter how fast, how sharp, how prepared, he couldn't outrun the feeling. It was inside him now, threaded into every heartbeat. Mia stayed close, refusing to leave him alone. But arguments started. She wanted safety, he wanted completion. "I can't let you do this alone." "I have to," he replied, voice strained. "This is bigger than both of us. I can't stop now." The paranoia escalated. A shadow outside the window, a reflection in a mirror that wasn't his own, the faintest whisper of a voice repeating his goals back to him. He slept in shifts, never more than an hour at a time. He ate little, drank little, obsessed over every detail. Then came the blackout. A sudden flicker of the lights, a snapping of electricity in the wires, and the entire apartment plunged into darkness. He couldn't see, couldn't defend, could only wait. He reached for the notebook. It was on the floor, open, half finished. The pages fluttered in the unseen wind, or was it someone moving through the room? His hands shook violently as he tried to continue writing, to force himself forward, to finish. The shadow whispered, closer now, urgent, threatening, waiting, and he realized, with a cold shock, that the real challenge wasn't completing his plan. It wasn't the training. It wasn't even the fear. It was surviving the moment long enough to see if he could achieve his goal at all. The lights snapped back, blinding. He gasped. Heart-hammering. The figure was there, tall, silent, watching. "Who? What do you want?" His voice cracked. No answer, only the shifting shadow inching closer. He grabbed the notebook, holding it like a shield. Pages fluttered. Words blurred under his shaking hands. Then a laugh. Low, menacing, familiar. "Mia," he whispered, confused. The figure stepped forward. The hood fell back. It wasn't a stranger. Not entirely. It was someone who had been close. Someone who knew every routine, every goal. Someone who had been guiding the pressure and the fear all along. "You pushed yourself too hard," the figure said softly. "I just wanted to see if you could do it." "Do what?" he yelled, chest heaving. "Achieve it. Force yourself. Survive the chaos you created in your mind. The notes, the calls, the shadows. It had all been a test, not random, not accidental, but deliberate." He felt rage, relief, disbelief spinning together like fire. "You set me up?" he shouted. "Not set up," the figure said. "Guided. You needed the pressure. You needed the darkness to find the light inside yourself. And now you have it, or you will. The weight of every moment crashed on him. And in that instant, something shifted. The fear, the panic, the desperation transformed into clarity, purpose, resolve. He dropped the notebook, stepped forward, heart steadying, eyes sharp. "I'm ready," he said. And for the first time in months, the shadows didn't feel threatening. They felt small. The tension didn't vanish instantly. Even after the revelation, his pulse remained high. He backed away slowly from the figure, blinking against the lingering glare of the lights. The room that had felt like a cage now seemed ordinary, too ordinary, almost mocking in its simplicity. Mia stepped forward, cautiously, her face a mix of relief and exasperation. "You," she began, but stopped. Words weren't enough. She just held out her hand. He took it, trembling slightly, still digesting everything. He had survived. Not because someone had protected him. Each choice, each step of discipline, each small battle with doubt had built toward this moment. The figure, now fully revealed, gave a small nod. "You see it now, don't you?" It wasn't about control over the world. It was about control over yourself. He let out a long breath. His knees finally relaxed. The adrenaline that had kept him tense for weeks began to ebb. For the first time in months, he could feel his mind clearing. Over the next hours, they rebuilt the space. The broken glass swept up. The scattered notes stacked. The apartment no longer a battleground, but a place of work, of life. He sat down at the kitchen table, notebook open, pen in hand, but this time it felt different. No terror, no looming shadows, only focus. In the following days, he restructured his routines. He trained, yes, but with purpose, not obsession. He slept, ate, and breathed. He shared his plans openly with Mia, letting her in, understanding that the weight of goals need not be carried alone. Each small success, each completed task, felt sharper, more meaningful, because he had survived the moment where everything seemed to collapse. The darkness, the fear, the unseen pressure, they hadn't broken him. They had refined him. He realized the truth. Goals weren't achieved by talent alone, not by luck, not by comfort. They were achieved by confronting the chaos inside yourself and forcing your mind and body to keep moving when the world or your own fears tried to stop you. And from that understanding came a calm resolve that no shadow, no threat, no whisper of doubt could shake. Months later, he stood in front of a small crowd, sharing his story. Not the fear, not the shadows, but the lesson. How to harness pressure, how to force yourself when everything screamed stop, how to turn obstacles into fuel. Mia stood beside him, smiling, proud. The figure who had tested him remained in the background, unseen by most, a quiet architect of transformation. He had survived. He had achieved. And he had learned something permanent. The only limits that truly matter are the ones you accept. The notebook was full now, but its pages no longer trembled. They were steady, like him. He closed it, smiled, and whispered, "This is just the beginning."